Number 1. Reason why women reject men. The most dangerous word in dating is a word called supplication. We're going to come back to in a minute. First, let's talk about the idea of value and how much value you have to the people in your social circle, and more importantly, to the women that you're meeting. And I want to explain the difference between high-value guys and low-value guys. So, how do you know if you're a low-value guy? Well, if you're meeting women and you're finding it really hard to get them out on a date or to progress anything with them, it's usually because they don't value their time with you. I always like to say, it's because they don't place enough value on you. Very simple. This word value is very important because when we value something, we make time for it. We have a sense of urgency towards it. If a girl doesn't really have that sense of urgency to meet up with you, it's because she doesn't place a high enough value on you. Or if you're dating girls and you find that after a couple dates, or as they get to know you, they start losing interest. It's because these women are not placing a lot of value on being with you. Well, what happens in that case is sometimes a woman starts off attracted to you and she senses as she's meeting you, oh, this guy's a high-value guy. But the more she gets to know you, the more she feels like she was sort of fooled and that you don't really have as much value as she initially thought. And the attraction starts plummeting. Or maybe you're just a guy in your social circle who none of the girls take seriously. You're never the guy they choose. You're the guy that usually winds up in the friend zone. Or you're the guy who's just kind of there, orbiting around, but never gets that interest from girls. That's because people around you, women in particular, aren't placing a high enough value on you. So why do women find it so hard to stay attracted to nice guys? It's common knowledge that nice guys finish last. I mean, you know it, right? But why? Well, let's go back to the idea of value. So, people are looking at you, women are looking at you, and you are telling them exactly how much value they should place on you. See nice guys? They place a very cheap price tag on themselves, and sometimes you try to hide it. You try to hide it with a fancy watch. You try to hide it with a nice car or a good job. But soon enough, the girl gets that gut-level feeling that she's been duped. Sometimes it's even worse if you're a good-looking guy. Because when you are good-looking, or you work out, or you have a little bit of money, and when a girl first meets you, she thinks she's getting a Louis Vuitton bag. This is because putting effort into the way you look signals value. But then as she gets to know you, it's like she's peeling away that price tag. And she sees that she really has a bag from Walmart. And when that happens, girls get very resentful. That's when they get cold. That's when you don't realize what happened, but all of a sudden, she's not answering your phone calls, she's not replying to your text messages, and she kind of just disappears. So now, let's back to that word we talked about earlier, and that word is supplication. And supplication means to ask earnestly, humbly, or to beg. And at its core, supplication is trading status and value for validation. You're willing to give away your status, your power to the other person at the expense of your own, to be validated by them. Nice guys trade away their value. They trade away their status to be liked because they want to be liked by women. On a very subtle level, when you meet someone, especially a woman you're attracted to, you're saying to them, I think you are better than me. And the thing is, when you tell a woman that they're better than you, even if it's non-verbally, no woman wants to be with a guy who thinks she's better than him. Let's look at a couple things that women find valuable in a man. And we're going to talk about what nice guys typically do to give that away. So, there's things that everybody can universally agree that women are attracted to, and they are masculinity, assertiveness, and certainty. These are characteristics that we can all agree that women like, that women are attracted to, and they're high-value traits. So what happens when a nice guy meets a girl? He trades these things away to be liked by her. He doesn't want to be assertive because he thinks it's going to scare her away. He's scared that if he chooses the wrong place for the date, she won't like him. He's scared to text her too much or too little. He's scared to go for the kiss too soon. He's scared to make his move. What is he scared of? He's scared the woman won't like him. See, a nice guy is willing to inconvenience himself to be liked by a girl. He's willing to put what she wants or what he thinks she wants above what he wants. Here's the thought process that goes through a nice guy's mind. I might not be getting what I want out of this relationship, this interaction, but at least she's happy, at least she's comfortable, at least she's having a good time, at least she likes me, at least she's enjoying herself. Now, when a girl picks up on this, and she will pick up on this, poof, your value goes out the window. It's gone. Women have a nose for weakness and fear. Even if you think you're hiding it, even if you put this front around you, they can sniff through it. They can sense weakness and they can sense fear. The minute they sense it, it's like alarm bells start going off in their head and they start paying attention to you even more. They start examining you for faults. I always tell guys, once they sense a chink in your armor, then they start noticing all your deficiencies, all the chinks, all the signs that give away the fact that you don't see yourself as a high-value guy. And that's really what they're looking for. Does he see himself as a high-value guy? See, every action either says to a woman, I see myself as above you, or I see myself as below you. Here's the thing. You're not just damaging yourself with that woman when you're acting like you're below her. You're damaging yourself with everybody within your social scene because other people notice how you act. Everybody sees you supplicating yourself. Everybody in your scene sees that you're putting yourself below these women, below these other guys. Here's a story for you. I was at a barbecue the other day and a few of us were sitting at a table and some girl comes over and she looks at one of the guys and she kind of holds her cup up. And then she hands him her cup and she says, "Can you get me another glass of sangria?" And he looks at her. Now, this wasn't her boyfriend. It wasn't a guy she was dating. This was just some guy. He was an acquaintance of hers at most, nothing more than that. He looks at her and he's like, "Why? What?" He had this confused look on his face and she goes, "Please, pretty please." And she gives him like those doughy eyes and he takes the cup and he leaves. And sure enough, he comes back 3 minutes later and he hands her this sangria. Now, he made a little joker before he did it. In his mind, maybe he thought he was flirting with her or teasing her. But he wasn't. He was supplicating himself to her. They were the same distance from the sangria cup. There was no reason that he should have been the one to go get that for her. There was no logical reason for him to go get her the sangria. She was consciously or unconsciously testing him, and he failed the test because he wanted to be liked by her. So, how do you know if you failed the test? It's very simple. Well, if me or one of his friends was standing there and said, "Hey man, go get me some sangria," he would have looked at me and he would have been like, "Dude, you're just as far away from it as I am. Go get it yourself." That would have been his natural response. But he wouldn't say that to the girl because he thought that if he said something like that, she wouldn't like him. Or he thought that maybe by doing things for her, by going and getting the sangria, he thought he was gaining points. But here's the thing. The more genuine response would have been, "Go get it yourself. It's right over there." You don't have to say it in a mean way, but you would say it the same way you would have said it to your friend, and then laugh at her. She would have liked him more because that response would have been more genuine, and it would have showed her that he puts a little value on himself. Everything we do is telling the other person how much value we place on ourselves. And had the sangria guy answered her in a more genuine way, it would have told her that he valued himself too much to be her little errand boy. And I can tell you right now, women do not want an errand boy. And the ones that do want an errand boy, you don't want to be with them. Everything you do tells other people how much value you place on yourself. Now, women aren't consciously going like, "Oh, he doesn't place a lot of value on himself." They're not walking around consciously judging you, but they treat you that way. They treat you like they're a little bit above you. When you accept that treatment, that becomes reality. And unconsciously, women are going to start to treat you like you're below them. It's human nature. And once she starts doing that, it becomes impossible for her to find you attractive. If she's treating you like you're below her, she's not going to find you attractive. The number one problem nice guys have, And the number one problem that you might have is that you place more value on being liked by the other person than you do on being respected or desired by them. Jerks don't have this problem. Jerks put the value on themselves. Here's the thing, and write this one down. Within a social scene, the person who tries hardest to be liked winds up with the least amount of status and power. The harder you try to be liked, the less power you have. Think about how you value yourself and how you behave around other people. Take note of any supplicating behavior and stop it immediately. I promise that you'll notice a difference in how others treat you as soon as you stop doing this. I want you to like this video and hit the subscribe button for more. Thanks for watching.